What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Scores! He did it again!
I just killed him. Before the game, I just killed John Madden because of a stink bomb.
Split special teamers, and now Brown is off to the races. Hurdles, kicks him in.
Giants are coming off a worse week than Harvey Weinstein.
That was the most exciting thing to happen tonight.
Game's over. Game is finally fucking be over.
Ed, you got to turn your mic on. I think. Got his hand on the button.
And now, our feature program.
They're in the car with a whole bunch of random people.
Well, there's normally crowds and whatnot.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, the crowds don't need to be there to race. NASCAR was doing it without people.
Yeah, but this is a little bit
Yeah, but they
more
were
of a-
doing that before COVID without people.
Hey, Smitty, yes, I just realized that we did not have audio. I don't know what happened, but the mics didn't turn back on.
No, Smitty, you're not allowed to hear us anymore.
So, the world's oldest active sports car race is this endurance race. It's been held annually since 1923. That is a shit long time for a car racing thing. It's held annually and it's near the town of Le Mans, France. It's considered one of the most prestigious.
That's where they get the name from.
Probably.
That would be.
Maybe just a little.
It's considered to be one of the most prestigious automotive races in the world, and it's been called the Grand Prix of Endurance and Efficiency. The Toyota Gazoo
Yeah, there were some weird-looking cars.
TS050 hybrid team won in car number 8 with 5 laps with a 5-lap lead. Holy crap!
Yeah,
They averaged 152.6 miles per hour for the race. So that's not bad.
no, that's pretty quick, and you gotta think that's 24 hours at that pace. That means that vehicle had to maintain, which is why that race is so much more difficult than most races are in the world.
Well, you figure if they averaged 152, that means somebody was doing 170, somebody was doing 180, and somebody was only doing like 120, 130.
Well, no, you got to think.
Also, really quick.
Only 120.
You got to think. Anytime they do a pit stop, that cuts into their speed too.
True.
So any pit stop, I think there was like 36 pit stops or something.
Oh wow.
I'm sure they had to change tires. They had to change a bunch of things depending on it.
Tire, gas, all the usuals.
Yeah, there was the other Toyota car took third from the same team, and he was, I think, 6 laps back. So he was 1 lap back of the person that took second.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it was interesting seeing it live happening.
You actually watched it?
I watched it for a few hours here, a few hours there. I had Ted watch it with me for a while. It was fun.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I'm surprised Teddy sat that long watching a car race down a road.
He didn't sit there for a few hours. He sat there for a little bit.
10 minutes at a time?
Maybe, but I go, hey, look, because I referenced it back to the movie, Ford vs. Ferrari, and he's like, oh,
Such
that's
a good movie.
Isn't it? And he's like, oh, that's that track. I go, yeah. And I'm like, look at these cars now. And he's like, wow, they're a lot different.
I still haven't seen that movie. I still need to see it.
Oh,
Yes,
it's
you do.
fucking great.
You have to see that
Okay.
movie.
Yeah.
I think that's half the reason when I saw it, I said, you know what? I'm going to turn it on for a little while. Because normally I probably would just said, okay, 24 Hours Le Mans, okay, I'll catch it. I'll catch a recap later. But I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it for a little bit.
That's
There
a
were some
good idea.
crashes. There was a lot of vehicles that did not make it all the way through.
Crashes are good. Crashes are the reason why we watch racing.
Well, there was more just cars breaking down, too. I mean, you got to think you're running a car at probably 10,000 RPMs, if not more, for 24 hours straight.
Yep.
It's a lot of wear and tear on that vehicle.
Oh, yeah. So, tonight's Thursday, and we are watching the Dolphins beating the Jags currently.
The Jags are second half team.
Yeah, 21-7, so it's Smitty's probably pretty happy right now.
I think that's why you want to.
He's still probably thinking that the Dolphins are going to lose.
Oh, yeah, because we all know the Dolphins are going to lose, probably.
No, he's confident the Dolphins will lose.
That's a confidence thing. So, let's start off with the bubble and basketball.
The Florida bubble.
Yep, the Florida bubble, where we're in the conference finals right now, and the LA Lakers are ahead of the Denver Nuggets 2-1, and the Miami Heat are ahead of the Boston Celtics 3-1. The Nuggets have continued to improve game by game, but the Celtics are hit or miss. Do you think the Nuggets or Celtics have a chance to win out and make it to the finals?
Absolutely.
Really?
I fucking know.
What,
Why not? Anybody has a chance.
Absolutely.
So you're
not.
saying there's a chance?
I'm going to say no.
You gonna
You
say
do a
no?
little bit of, if you believe in yourself, anybody can do anything.
I'm going to say if the Celtics had a chance, it was they had to win Game 4. The Nuggets, they're a good team, but if LeBron and KD want it, they're gonna win. Those two have too much star power and too much pull in NBA circles to lose.
So that brings me to my other question. This basketball season was touted as the Lakers' season to run away with it, since they have those two players. But since the restart, they haven't always been perfect. Been the perfect team they were before the shutdown. Do we think they're just going through the motions because they know no matter what, who wins the finals this year will have an asterisk next to it?
Nope. I think they're going through the motions because they know if any given night they can turn it up and run house.
So only try half pace until you actually need to do anything?
Exactly. Play just hard enough to win. Don't waste any extra energy. That way you got to kick it up that next gear. You have it still in the reserve. Where all these other teams have been going full bore every night, and the Lakers haven't.
Starting to look tired.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
saying they're taking the tortoise and the hare approach.
Yes, they're working their way through it. They're in no rush to kill themselves for every game where they know they only have to win 4 out of 7.
True. So, talk about killing yourself. The NHL released a Stanley Cup promo that shows its players' toughness by emphasizing its players playing through injuries.
God, we're on hockey already. That was a
Yeah,
short basketball.
Jeremy's the only one talking about basketball, so I'm just gonna move it along.
There we go.
So when do you think the NHL needs? When or do we think the NHL needs to do a better job of taking care of its players rather than supporting the stigma that it's okay to destroy their bodies for the game?
They're not going to. They took fighting out of it. They're gonna still show the fact that they have the toughest athletes in any league by releasing their injuries after the fact. Most of the time, you don't know what injuries these hockey players have till after the season's over, and they had to go in for surgery. They had a punctured lung, bruised kidney, and they played through it. Hockey players are born and raised that way. Their mindset is they do whatever they can to be on the ice, and it doesn't matter.
When do you think that maybe the league itself needs to step in? Like, I feel like at some point they're going to get pressured from the other leagues to maybe try to take better care of their players.
I think at some point, though, that, some of these major injuries, like, you don't, like some major injuries, they don't play through, but it's not like basketball where, I sprained my thumb and I'm out 6 weeks, minimum,
6 weeks minimum.
Since I was a little kid, yes, like Jeremy said, you want to be on the ice. You don't care how bad you're hurt, but there does come a point where I think there is a line drawn. And I don't know, necessarily what the league does or does not do, because like Jeremy said, they don't release a lot of that information.
Yeah, they keep a lot of it private till after the fact.
See, I almost wonder if it should go on the trainers, though. Because if somebody gets hurt, then I think it's on the trainer's responsibility to be like, no, I know you want to play. I know you're a hard ass. But we got to start thinking about your overall longevity and health outside of hockey. Because there is life out of hockey.
There's no
not
such
for those
thing.
guys. There's not.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna
Silence
say,
says, all right.
so we never think
not
they're ever gonna get there.
No, unless you start that at the younger ages. Start getting these people to say, okay, listen, it's not, your life doesn't revolve around hockey. And at a young age, if you want to be a professional hockey player, you have to have a lot more than one person. You're going to have to have something dramatic happen, like CTE happened to the NFL. You're going to have something that's so drastic that players are killing themselves because of. I mean, a professional athlete understands is once they retire, the odds are they're going to hurt. Their bones are going to hurt. Their joints are going to hurt. They're going to deal with it for the rest of their life, but they're making millions to compensate themselves for
it. And hockey has, like, Jeremy brought up CTE and stuff. Hockey's taken a lot of stuff out of it, like, to try to make it more player safe. They instituted, blindside hits are illegal now. Boarding has always been illegal, but now it's an even bigger penalty, and who is it? Brendan Shanahan, I believe, is in charge of player safety for the NHL. And from my understanding, if you commit one of these extreme hits or one of those things that could potentially end a person's career, he will come down on you with suspensions, fines, like it's nobody's business.
Oh yeah, they've definitely taken some things out of the game. I mean, like, you don't see fights like you used to anymore.
No, the fights is
and
they
get broke up way faster.
Oh yeah, very quickly. I mean, the fights are over halftime before they even really began.
Do you think it was a good practice, though, that they kind of emphasized the injury rather than the game itself for their Stanley Cup promo? Do you think they should have probably taken a more conservative approach?
No, because the fact is their promo is directed towards hockey fans, and hockey fans want those tough people out there.
Yeah. Hockey fans miss the old fights.
Exactly. Those hockey fans want the people that fight through everything to go out there and play. They don't want these prima donnas that, I stubbed my finger, I can't play for 6 weeks.
Yeah. They want the Broad Street Bullies back. Is what they want.
We miss those old days when we had the brawlers.
Exactly. Hockey was always based around being tough and playing through it, and just like when you grew up playing sports, you always played through whatever you could if you could, and you kept going. You didn't, oh, I hurt my toe, I'm not going to play this week. No, that wasn't an option. You sucked it up and you played. And most sports are getting away from that, where some sports it's like, oh, I stepped on a crack, I can't play this week.
It's getting sad. So last night, the Tampa Bay beat the Dallas Stars 5-2 in Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals. The Lightning now leads the series 2-1, and the Stars have won Game 1 4-1, but lost a close Game 2 with a score of 3-2. With the momentum in the series now the Lightning side, do you think that if the Game 4 goes the same way Game 4 will go the same way Games 2 and 3 went, and the series is basically over?
Which game was it?
Game
4.
Are we sure? Because there's a whole lot of numbers going around.
Yeah. I should have shortened this question.
You know, I typed it up for him, and he still couldn't even read it right. No chance to come back from 3-1.
Everybody has a chance. It just depends on where their motivation lies, really.
Yeah, I don't know if Dallas. I don't know. Like, Tampa Bay's been in these situations before. I don't know if Dallas necessarily has the experience on their side to be able to come back from a 3-1 deficit, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely not the most common thing to happen especially in a finals.
Look, if anybody has learned anything at all, that the Cowboys proved it last week, where they managed to come from behind and pull off a win. There's always a chance. You have the determination, and you believe.
You just have a slightly higher chance when you're playing Atlanta.
Yes.
Yes. Especially if Atlanta has a 20-point lead or more.
Yes. That is a requirement for you to beat Atlanta. They have to have a lead.
You might as well just let them get 20 points in the first quarter and then just smoke them.
Yep. That's all you need to do. So, speaking of things that are done after having a lead, as of Sunday, most of the Major League Baseball will be done with its shortened season, pending any postponed play, like the games that were postponed because of COVID that we played at a later date. Do we think these teams that didn't make the playoffs are just happy that it's over so they can concentrate on players for next season?
I think their owners are happy because they're no longer paying salaries.
I think the players probably still want to play. I mean, if you got to think about it, the players are still young kids at heart. And if they really enjoy playing baseball that much, they want to be out there playing. And not being on the field or the whatever you want to call it is probably like, well, all right, look towards next year. Unless you're South Park and you just wish you had your summer back.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are ready for this year to be over. It's just been a lot of them have complained that it's not the same, and a lot of them weren't happy the fact they were only playing 60 games in general. So the fact is, when it's over, they're going to be like, okay, well, pack it up, we'll play next year.
Yeah.
God, Fitzpatrick looks like a garden gnome.
Oh, yeah, he does.
I think we're looking at a moment with Chris. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we're at the moment with Chris.
All right, guys. So SEC begins its season this weekend. ACC's already been playing for 2 weeks. Can anybody compete with Nick Saban and Alabama in the SEC? What do we think?
I don't know. That's hard.
I think Clemson has a chance.
That's about.
Well, I'm just talking straight SEC.
Oh,
nobody else, just SEC.
Oh, I thought. Okay,
I worded it badly.
Okay.
So yeah, just in the SEC division.
Yes.
I mean, now I need to go look to see who's in the SEC.
That's why.
Who's in the SEC?
Basically, you need to know Georgia, LSU, and Florida. Those are the only teams that I honestly think even have a shot. And Auburn,
like the Florida Gators.
Yeah.
I think LSU is always a contender. It's always Alabama and LSU.
Yeah, I was gonna say LSU is usually a good team even when they aren't. They seem to show up in big games. But besides that, I'm not.
Losing Joe Burrow is gonna have a serious effect on them this year.
I'd say yes, but also they only really had him for 1 year.
Yeah, so he only really showed up this past season.
it's not like he's like a 3-year starter or something.
Right.
It's the fact is he in theory wasn't even going to be the starter. He kind of got pushed into the position, kind of was in theory a fill-in for a year, and then just lit it up.
Right.
So
and then
he took his chance
do
and
we
went
think
with
Georgia's overrated?
Isn't Georgia always overrated?
I honestly think they are, but especially I think they're being hyped up a lot this year. But I think a lot of that had to do with Jamie Newman being their quarterback when he transferred from Wake Forest, and since he opted out this season, I don't see them being as successful as everybody thinks.
No, they're definitely on a downward spiral. That they're hype train. They're like the Browns from a few years ago. Everyone's hyping them up preseason. They're gonna do good. They're a playoff team, and they're gonna fall on their faces quicker. Than
and then we're just hoping that they play well enough that we can open the free beer things.
Coolers.
Yes.
All
Well,
right.
it's back in college, so it's fruit snacks and Hawaiian punch.
Well, most college kids are 21.
At least the ones that are seniors and stuff.
Right.
Seniors. All right. So COVID has finally affected and hit college football. Notre Dame versus Wake Forest, that was scheduled for this Saturday, has been rescheduled to December 12th. This is due to 7 positive tests and 13 Fighting Irish players currently being in quarantine. Do we think this is going to become more common in the coming weeks, or is this just, poor oversight by Notre Dame and, trying to keep their players, safe and healthy?
I think it's going to happen more because these players are now playing. They're thinking, okay, it's college. We're playing. We're partying. We're going out. We're having fun after games, and that's where it's going to happen. Is after the game they go to a party. Someone's asymptomatic and doesn't know it and shares it, and next thing you know, half our team's out.
Yeah, I think the NCAA needs to practice more of what the professional teams are doing, and exercise bubble practices. If you're a professional athlete or a college athlete, you need to be more contained, and they need to hold them at a higher standard of discipline and be like, no, you're restricted to this dorm space. You're here. You're going from the field to your dorm to class, whatever, and that's it.
I think, and I can't speak for some of these other conferences, but I believe that was part of everything that brought the Big Ten, to being able to start fall football, is they have quarantine requirements that are similar to what you're talking about, Nate. So I think you might see a spike, but at the same time, as much as I'm scared for this whole situation because of the COVID and everything, from a football standpoint, this makes it better for Big Ten teams because now, they're only finishing a week after the ACC when everybody was complaining that we were starting too late, we weren't going to play enough games, and in that, they were going to have to push the last ranking off a week. So by these games getting postponed and rescheduled for that first week of December, I think is going to benefit the Big Ten.
That started much
in the
later.
rankings.
Isn't that the second week of December?
Is that the second week? Yeah, that
The
is
12th.
the second week.
Yeah.
It's 12
So it
days
makes
in,
it
so.
makes
So-
it even closer
Yeah.
to the end.
Yeah, because I think our season's supposed to finish the 19th of December.
Yeah, so
So
you're
that
a
following
week away.
Yeah, so
you're only 1 week later.
yeah, so it's not as bad. It's basically like waiting on the Army Navy game if you had to wait on the Army Navy game for rankings.
Yeah.
So, and then lastly for college
Well,
football,
before we get
prime
off of
time
that
is
too
going
far.
back to college.
Well,
Deion Sanders was hired as the head coach for Jacksonville State in Mississippi. All right. How do we feel about this? Is it a publicity stunt?
Oh, it's definitely a publicity stunt.
Why? Because he's black?
No, because he's prime
Deion
time.
Sanders.
I mean,
He's
nobody
fucking-
said anything when Brett Favre was coaching high school and shit.
That's
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
and Brett
what he gets
Favre
to
actually
high
coached?
school.
Yes. No, because it's prime time. Everything he does is for his brand.
Yes.
Exactly.
He was one of the early players to really start his branding as a player.
Well, what if
He wasn't known as Deion Sanders halfway through his career. He was
What
known
if
as prime time.
John Meredith, Dandy John or whatever, decided to coach college? Would we still have this conversation? I
No.
feel like this is a race card here.
No, because he's.
You guys sure you want to talk about this with me on the show?
See, you said that, Nate, and I was like, "Who the hell is that?" Everybody know who his prime time Deion Sanders is.
You're looking at it at one end of the spectrum. You got to look at it how
I am looking at it like every other American right now.
No, you're
Why
not.
does it matter if it's a publicity stunt because Deion Sanders is coaching?
That was the question. Was it a publicity stunt?
Right.
No. Yes, it was.
Coach, why is it a publicity stunt? Because he's black. That's what you're saying right
No,
now.
because it's fucking Deion Sanders. That's why.
No, you're
Everything
using
he's ever
race.
done
You
is
all
for
can
his
say
brand.
one thing. But you're all saying it's because he's black.
I'm a huge Deion Sanders fan. He
Yes,
was the man.
he was.
He was probably one of
But,
the few
so
players.
he's the man, but when he's coaching college football, now it's a publicity stunt?
Oh, I never
What
said he
does it
wouldn't be
matter?
good at it. I never said I didn't like him doing it. I think he should have
But
done it
you're
years
saying
ago.
it's a publicity stunt because he's black.
No, you're saying that. I'm saying it's a
I'm
publicity
just
stunt
reading
because
what
it's
you
Deion.
all put on here.
I didn't put anything. I didn't even realize this was on here until just now. Hey,
If
what happened to
Wes
Chris?
Welker decided to coach college football, you all aren't going to say shit.
Nate, we argued so much we lost Chris.
How did we lose Chris?
Hey, where'd Chris go?
It said he left. I don't know.
Hi, my multiracial puppies.
Hey, Nate, air high five. We managed to argue enough that we knocked someone out of the cast.
We offended somebody in.
I don't think we offended him, but I definitely think that it's more publicity stunt than him just wanting to be a coach.
No,
I don't
'cause
think
he-
so. I
he's been-
think
he's been
it's.
coaching for years, actually.
I
It's
think
just
Deion
been
Sanders
quiet
just
about it.
wants to go to the next level of coaching and then eventually move on to probably the NFL. Get it, wet his beak in the college ranks, and potentially move forward and actually become a head coach somewhere else, or even a coordinator or whatever.
Where is Deion's son playing college football? That might
Where
be
is
a.
Deion playing college football.
Huh?
Where is Deion Sanders' son playing college football?
That is the question.
Well, you're our Google guy, Jeremy.
I'm not on my computer.
Where did anybody tell Chris that he got kicked off?
I'm about to call him now.
All right.
Deion Sanders' son plays college football for the University of South Carolina.
Okay, so I wonder if they're in the same division.
That'd be funny.
He says his internet dropped out.
Of course it did.
But so I think A, yes, it is a publicity stunt. B, I like the move because Deion's
I used to
been
date
coaching.
a guy named Hoppy down in Alabama. He was quite a jumper too.
Chris's internet dropped out. He'll be back at some point very soon.
Hopefully.
But okay, so Nate, A, I think it was a publicity stunt. B, I like the idea because Deion's been coaching for years. He hasn't done it at a high level, which I'm not sure if Jacksonville State is a high level college. I'd assume no.
I'm pretty sure it's like a single A college, maybe a double A college. So basically nothing important.
Yeah, but so it's lower down. It's its way to get his foot into the college door.
Yes.
But anything Deion does is a branding move. Maybe not publicity stunt, but it's a branding move for him. He's always been that way. His goal in life was to build his brand, and he's done one hell of a job doing it. He's made 10 times more money as a retired athlete than he ever did playing. And most athletes, they never even come close to even making even what they made while playing.
I think Nate, did you disappear?
No, sorry. I was talking to Amanda. She just got home.
Ah.
So I was only half listening.
Well, hi, Amanda. So to sum up Jeremy's point is that it's not a pure publicity stunt, but he's doing it to build his brand more, and it's a good way to do it.
I don't think it's a publicity stunt whatsoever. Why does it have to be a publicity
No,
stunt?
no, he's saying it's not purely a publicity stunt.
But it doesn't need to be any part or kind of publicity stunt. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
I-
understand why we have to even ask that question. Is it a publicity stunt?
'Cause
He
I
just wants
think-
to coach college football.
No,
And he's Deion Sanders, and it's going to draw publicity no matter what it is. But I don't think the team was like,
You
"What
just said it right
former
there.
NFL player can we grab that's going to bring major media attention?" Oh, I know. Deion fucking Sanders.
Well,
no, it's
you're
not even
damn
close
right
to
he
it.
will.
No. See, you just said it right there. it's Deion Sanders. It's gonna be covered with publicity.
Right,
You
but
want
it's
to know
not
why?
a publicity stunt. A
It
publicity
was.
stunt means you
It was.
purposely grab somebody to bring somebody in. It's like bringing Tim Tebow to New England. That was a publicity stunt.
So you're confused here now. It's a
How am I confused?
because it's a publicity
I'm
stunt
woke as
by the
fuck.
college. It's a publicity stunt by the college to have him come in and coach. He could
And
be
to
the
announce
best coach out there. You don't know because he hasn't coached this level yet. But this college is a no-name college in Jacksonville. I mean, come on, it's Jacksonville.
And there's
And-
more than just crystal meth in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Are
a
you
zoo, too.
sure?
There's
I'm
a
pretty
zoo and there's a zoo and a bunch of mustaches. That's about
I
it.
mean, they got Blake Bortles down there too somewhere. I thought
No, Bortles is on
he went to the Tyrod
Denver.
Taylor's team or whatever. Yeah,
no Denver.
But anyway,
Went to Denver.
I
But no,
don't
so
think the college
it is a
exclusively signed Deion Sanders to coach their team just for the media.
Nate,
They
move
probably
to your
looked
right.
At it as like,
Well, guess what?
Deion Sanders, he's got an amazing pedigree. Great, let's bring him in. And then some dude in the back was like, "Oh yeah, he'll bring the media." No, fuck you.
Guaranteed it was, hey, we no one knows about us. Let's get on the news. Because if you bring in a big name person like that, of course there's going to be publicity around him. Dion
Look,
has
they
been
want to bring
covered with
publicity, make it a publicity stunt. They bring in Tim Tebow, Johnny Manziel, and Deion Sanders. There you go. 3 high-paid, egotistical people into their coaching ring. That will bring the media in.
Nate, are you filling out Dion's coaching staff currently as we podcast?
And
Nate,
why not
move
bring
to your right
Taylor
more.
as the running backs coach.
Well, you just got to get Actually, you can't bring in what's his name, Manziel. He's still in the league.
Yes, he
He's
is.
in Canada.
Huh?
Johnny Manziel's up in Canada.
No, he's back in the NFL this year, I think.
Why do I have an echo from Jeremy?
He's echoing.
Yeah, why am I echoing? I could have sworn I heard Manziel's on a roster this year.
Who the hell would sign Manziel to a roster?
Apparently, you think Jacksonville would.
No, that was Bortles.
Well, yeah, Blake Bortles was the quarterback in Jacksonville for a while.
Yeah.
So, well, let's move on. Somebody's got the audio from us on. I can hear it because I'm hearing myself now.
Not
me.
I, says the fish.
I don't have anything coming in down here.
Not it.
Ah, that's weird. Anyhow, so Gale Sayers, former Chicago Bears halfback, passed away Wednesday morning in his home. He was 77. Anyone have a guess for what the cause of death is?
COVID.
It's not COVID. It is now.
Yep.
That's exactly what I said when I told Travis the other day that this happened. Yesterday.
Yesterday, yes. I'm like, she asked me the exact same question. I'm like, well, it's COVID no matter what.
Pretty much.
He could have died from the sniffles, but it's COVID. So, according to his stepson, the cause of death was complications of dementia and Alzheimer's. Hey, Chris is back.
I'm back.
Hey, Chris, did you hear the question?
So
I
how
didn't.
Do you feel? Do you think that Deion
Oh
Sanders is
my
a
God.
publicity stunt? Or is it somebody just trying to be racist?
I actually thought he was going to use it maybe as a stepping stone as like an OC into a bigger program or something. Because he's been coaching high school for a while.
Which
Do
is
you
what
think
I
it's
was
a
saying.
publicity stunt
Yeah.
or just kind of happened?
It's a publicity stunt by the school.
I think the media is making it bigger than it probably needs to be. As far as, okay, because, I mean, it's not like Jacksonville State is this football powerhouse by any means.
Who just said this?
So, I mean, I'm probably going to echo a lot of what Jeremy said. We'll just go there.
So, Nate, that's 2-1.
But
because actually, I kind of
the
think
thing
of
with Jacksonville State, to make Nate feel better, it is a primarily African American school. Like,
So you're saying they only hired him
So
because
you're
he's
saying
black?
they don't like white people is what you're saying.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna smack you, Nate, through the computer and across like 8 states.
Hey, Gail, text Amanda to go smack him.
She just got in the shower.
I can still text her.
She's
Why
got
do I have
she's
it
got to
back
wash off animals.
Just cover the camera. She can come down and smack you.
Nate might get a little too excited by that.
That's weird. Why do I have a weird echo? Anyhow. So, back to where we were. So, Chris, do you know why Gale Sayers died?
How?
How?
He died?
Yeah, how he died, what he died from. What was the cause of death?
I don't
remember.
It's not just COVID, like everything else is nowadays?
I don't think so. I think he actually, had something going on.
Yeah. Well, according to his stepson, the cause of death was complications of dementia and Alzheimer's. Over his 7-year career, he played in 68 games with 991 carries for rushes for 4,956 yards with 39 TDs. He also had 112 receptions for 1,307 yards and 9 touchdowns. So he had a decent career.
Yeah, and it would have been a lot better if it wasn't for multiple knee injuries that took him out early.
I'm not going to lie. I thought you were going to say if it wasn't for him playing for the Bears.
Well, that too.
You know,
that's
that
got
close,
something to do with it.
That was there.
Well,
I'm a Bears fan, and I thought it, so.
Well, if he's 77, that means he played when the Refrigerator Perry was there and back in the day when they were all still good.
He played in the 60s.
60s,
which
that was
which for a halfback to catch the ball back in the 60s was kind of rare.
That's huge. Yeah. So, with Cam Newton is playing on 1-year career with 1-year contract with base salary of $100.05 million.
I'll take that for a year.
The extra incentives, he can increase it to $7.5 million if he reaches all those incentives. Is it too early in the season to start talking about a contract extension for Brady's MVP replacement? I think that people are starting to put the cart before the horse, and he is nowhere near ready to be extended because all he's shown us that he's a one-trick pony so far. Well, 1.5 trick pony.
So my thought is at least 12 games in. Before his past 2 years of injuries, he was primarily healthy. Few injuries, it could start to snowball into a career-long being injured every year. Get 10, 12 games in, and the fact is, you are the only team that took the flyer on him. He was sitting at home for, 98 days or something, whatever his documentary coming out crap is, and the only team to reach out to him was New England to give him a shot as a starter. Let's face it, if you come to him shortly before the maybe 10, 12 games in, and he's still healthy, he's playing good, and you go, hey, listen, we like what you're doing. We want to offer you a contract. It's not going to be what market will pay you, but we were that team that took the shot on you. He might consider it, but the fact is, a player like him, his goal, hey, Giggles over there, his goal is to use New England.
No, I'm laughing because Chris and I are having a non-appropriate for air conversation.
Yeah.
I noticed. That's why I called you Giggles. But so I think both people are using each other. Belichick is out here using Cam to show, see, I can do it with people besides Brady. And Cam's out here using Belichick to show everyone, see, I'm still an MVP caliber starting quarterback in this league, and I should be taken seriously as a starter and be paid starter money.
I just think it's all he's shown us is that he can run the ball and he can throw the ball halfway decently. But when it comes down to it, he's a run-first quarterback lately.
No, he's not. He's a pass-first quarterback.
He's really evolved.
He has. My issue is,
maybe I was just watching a different game on Sunday because it definitely looked like he was willing to run the ball first instead of making that tougher pass downhill.
But see, that could have also been coaching scheme. That could have been advised, like, hey, if you don't see the play developing, you don't see an open receiver, don't force it. We know you can get the extra yards. Just go for a quick little run, slide, protect yourself, and get those yards.
Yeah, the first game, or the first half of the second game, it was they were trying to get the run game. They were seeing, can we run on Seattle? And they realized they couldn't do it. The second half, they opened up and let him throw the ball. He's decent enough and accurate enough to throw the ball down the field and complete catches to all his receivers that Brady wouldn't throw to here. But the issue is, if you get a little pressure on him, watch his shoulders. His shoulders drop. His shoulder drops. The ball comes out very quick and very awkward. He's not good. If you get someone near him, and he's still trying to make the throw quickly, he
freaks out.
Useless.
Are you talking about Brady or Newton? Because I feel like it's a Brady thing.
Newton. No, there was multiple times last week where the pressure came quickly, and you saw Newton just kind of like drop a shoulder and huck it out there, kind of like sidearmed it. He didn't, but when he was back there and had time to plant his feet and throw the ball, his shoulders stayed level, and it was a clean delivery. Watch next week when you watch the game. If someone's coming quickly towards him, watch how he kind of like drops his shoulder and throws it sidearmed.
Yep. And of course, we all know the Pats' pass offense hasn't been the greatest the past couple of seasons with their line the way it has been. So he's more likely to have people.
Line. It is. The line's not the issue. The receiving core is the issue.
Well, today the center
David Andrews
was seen with a cast on over his thumb and over his wrist up to this area ish, like in that area.
Anything?
Well, he's the center. On his right hand, he's right-handed. He snaps the ball with his right hand.
Doesn't mean anything. Not a big deal.
Hey, Nate, you really got to stop. You got to stop using so much lube and hitting the wall when you slip off.
I just got to stop taking naps is what needs to happen.
I told you, naps are the devil. You're not supposed to sleep during the day.
What's sleep?
Exactly.
It's wonderful. Get divorced. You might know what it's like.
Sounds like a waste of time to me. I could be demolishing the house some more and adding things to the house again.
So speaking of demolishing things, the Los Angeles Charger head coach Anthony Lynn defended the team physician who accidentally punctured the lung of starting quarterback Tyrod Taylor while administering a pain-killing injection prior to the team's loss Sunday against the Kansas City Chiefs. He said, "It happens. I can't go into details about it, but it was a complication with the shot. No one is perfect. It happens, but the doctor, I know he's a good man. It's just unfortunate." Do you think most coaches in sports, all sports, will be on the same frame of mind, or would they be more outraged that something like this would happen?
Well, you know what they say. The doctors are always practicing medicine. So he's just practicing on what to do and what not to do, and that's what that was.
He found out what not to do?
I'm sorry, but puncturing the lung does not just
almost
happen.
won them the game against Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell, they took Kansas City to overtime.
I definitely think it was probably like a very cavalier approach, and I think really it was one of those things that you say what's right in front of the media, but behind closed doors,
you're pissed.
Is really when the discussion is going to happen.
Yeah, you say limited in front of the media because it's out in public, and anything you say can be used in a lawsuit of some sort, whether it be for Tyrod Taylor or for the team doctor that now can no longer get a job anywhere because he's been blackballed because you came out saying he was he was wrong and this and that. You got to realize these coaches are not only they have to protect themselves from being sued because of something they say.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gail was trying to say something.
Oh, just that puncturing a lung just doesn't just happen. Obviously, he put the needle in the wrong place and went too deep. You don't just puncture a lung.
Well, no, that's what the podcast says.
Yes, he went too deep. But to where your ribs, where you usually inject something like that in the ribs, would be on the upper side of the ribs. It means he went past the ribs to get to the lungs, right?
No, we have a medically trained professional here, Doc.
Oh yeah, why don't you? Have you ever punctured a lung?
All right, so
not on purpose.
Medical correspondent.
All right, like typically, an athlete, the muscles around their ribs are going to be slightly, obviously, more developed than, like, say, me. I have very bony ribs, whatever. There's not a lot of tissue there. Depending on the gauge of needle that this doctor used, which, if he was putting some type of numbing medication or steroid, the biggest gauge needle I can see going in, if it's in a 20 gauge, you puncture a lung with it, it's probably healed with, like, legitimately healed within a week. because of the way that the tissue regenerates and everything, and it'll close itself up. Now, to put that in perspective,
20 gauge
in
is
combat,
tiny.
when I'm trained to do a needle decompression on somebody to vent, a buildup of pressure in the pleural space of someone's chest, we use a 10 gauge.
Whew. It's a big needle.
So, like, you put that kind of in perspective. I don't know what size needle was used by any means, but I can only imagine if they're doing some type of, steroid treatment or anything like that. Because that's, what we do in the clinic I work in. We don't use anything over a 20 gauge.
Could it have been where he was taking a little longer than normal to inject it, and the athlete took a breath in and expanded the chest area?
It could. I mean, there's not a lot of room for error because, like I said, there's not a lot of tissue between your skin and your, that what we would call the pleural space is where your lung sits. So, depending on where he was injecting it at, also has.
It could have been closer than normal.
Yeah, because if he's doing it, on the outside, like under your armpit, the axillary area, there's usually not a lot of tissue there. If he's doing it more towards his abdomen, there's positioning plays a big part in that.
So it was almost like an oops.
Yeah, it could have been a number of things. Either the athlete jumped.
Ooh, that's cold.
Could have accidentally, just went a little bit too deep, just hit it just right. Or just the positioning was wrong. So it could be a legitimate accident, but
Nate, you're trying to say something?
It would be by a team doctor would not purposely take a player out.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, like, I don't think it was like any type of like neglect or like poor care. It could just be a legitimate freak accident. It wasn't like negligent in any way.
Maybe it was a publicity stunt like that Jacksonville College.
You are not going to drop this, are you?
No.
Their coach.
Nate, when was the last time you heard Jacksonville State ever?
Man, I haven't heard of like more than 5% of the colleges in America.
Exactly.
The only reason I know where that school is because I was going to try to go there at one point for my master's degree because they have a really good emergency management degree. That's the only time, and I'm a college football person, that I've ever even heard of that school.
Yeah, so take your panties out of a bunch and just let it be.
Why do they got to be panties?
Because we all know you wear Amanda's panties.
You don't know how much milk I put in my cereal?
Well, I know Scout will drink it if you don't finish it.
Oh, no, I always finish my milk.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
So the reports on that is that he will be week by week and questionable whether he will play or not. When do you think he'll be back? Or if he'll be back, considering how good that backup QB actually did?
I say 2 weeks.
Well, the coach came out and said that he's still our starter when he's healthy.
Right, but what happens if he's not back for 3-4 weeks and this backup QB wins those games? Because he brought the Kansas City Chiefs to overtime.
Herbert's good.
Yeah, Herbert is pretty good. They did have a high round draft pick, but I think they want Herbert to develop not in the fire. They want kind of give him a year to observe and not take those unnecessary shots. But
all right, so,
I don't know.
So 2 weeks. Nate's got 2 weeks. Jordan, what do you got?
I got if he's out more than 4 weeks and they win 3 games.
He's not going to be the starter anymore?
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor would not be the starter at that point in time.
What do you got, Chris? What do you think?
I think he'll be back 3-ish weeks, maybe 4. Comes out and is like, barely winning games. They'll bring Tyrod back in, but I think if he starts pulling away and, putting some gaps on these teams, then I think as a coach, you need to have that kind of conversation and figure out what's best for your team.
Go with the hot player, not with not with the guy you're paying the most.
Yeah, it's one thing if you're winning each game, in overtime or by a couple points, but if you're putting some serious points up on these other teams and really pulling away, then you might want to re-examine which quarterback you have in there.
So, with the surprise Monday night win by the Raiders over the Saints, do you think this has to do with more of the Saints having a bad game? They had 10 penalties for 129 yards, or the Raiders are an undervalued team power wise?
I think it's a fact it's that new stadium feel, even though they didn't have a crowd there, they still had that new stadium smell, that new stadium is, hey, listen, we're opening it up, we need to show up. And the Saints without Michael Thomas is a completely different offense. Mm-hmm. You could see it from the first snap. Without that number one receiver, Michael Thomas out there, now their second receiver has to play that first receiver DB, and they just can't. You're never going to be able to maintain like that.
They're not ready for it.
With that kind of offense, that's a deep threat, throw the ball all over the field offense. You need that number one receiver that pulls that top DB to allow all the other receivers to play equal quality DBs as those receivers.
Nate, what do you think? Were you listening?
Well, I am. I'm trying to really kind of focus in on this. I think right now the Vegas Raiders are 2-0.
Yes.
So they got to be doing something right. And I do agree that, it was their first home game. It was the first game for the Death Star. So I think that definitely brought all kinds of, this is our home. Nobody's played here. We are going to win the first game. This is an important thing. It's a pride thing. I think that's what definitely pushed them through. But maybe there is something about this Vegas Raiders team that going to Vegas, it's a new start, new thing. I mean, look at Washington. They changed their name to the Washington Football Team, and they're actually playing all right.
Yeah, they went 1-1.
Right. I think it's just the pride thing. I think John Gruden's done a decent job, and maybe actually earning his paycheck, that millions of dollars that he's getting paid to be there, to actually be significant enough to keep them contendable. I think we're going to talk about it later, but I think, the fact that they're not outscoring their opponents, and I don't know what the difficulty of their schedule is. I think that could also have something to play with, their season, but I think it's kind of too early to tell if they're, shooting their load too fast or if they're actually going to be able to contend for the long haul.
All right. Chris, what do you think?
I do think they are slightly undervalued. I do think they have a lot of talent on their team. Their tight end, I believe his name's Waller. Correct me if I'm wrong. He looked real good, and they were saying on the broadcast that he was the second leading tight end in the league last year behind Kelsey in pretty much every category, which I didn't know that. But I do think they have a lot of talent on that team, and it's just I think they're going to be developing more and more as the season goes on. And like Nate said, I don't know what their schedule looks like or anything like that, so I can't say that they're going to be great, but I do think they're going to win more games than some people really, expect them to win.
Do you think a win over the Saints was huge for them? Saying that, hey, we are actually here to play and we are much better than people think we are.
I think it was probably a major confidence boost. The Saints played Tampa Bay the first week, and we all know the expectations of Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So the Raiders coming through, beating the Saints, they just did something that Tampa Bay couldn't do. So that must have given them a whole lot of pride and ego all over the place to feel confident about moving forward.
Definitely. Anybody else got any comments?
Oh, it definitely was a big boost to their morale. They're going to come in this week thinking my worry about LA is they're that team that listens to the publicity, the press test. Oh yeah, they're a great team there. Huh?
You mean LV? They're Las Vegas, not Los Angeles.
Whatever they are.
We're going to do that a lot this year.
Yeah, we are.
Too many different L's in this freaking league now. But I
I
think
started
they're
calling them Oakland.
That's where they belonged.
that's where they'll always be. They'll always be the Oakland Raiders. But I think that they're that team that's going to listen to all the hype if they start winning, and they're going to get big heads, and it's going to
Turn into the Browns.
I don't think it would be that bad because they have a decent coach, but I think the coach also listens to the press more than he should. So I think they'll turn into a average team. They do play in a tough division. So I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe 8-8, 9-7, and miss the postseason.
I think they might make I think they might take a wild card. I'll give them that.
Give them a wild card spot, possibly.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
don't
it's
think that's
possible.
unreasonable for them.
No, if they stay healthy, they can have a chance. Hell, it's only week 2. Everyone still has a chance.
Yep.
Even 0-2 teams do.
Well, speaking of 0-2 teams, you want to get these power rankings, Nate?
Sure. I think there's of 2 teams right now I don't think are going to stand a chance of making the postseason, and that is number 32. You have the New York Jets, who are 0-2. Their sweet mates, the New York Giants, are 0-2. Number 30, we got the Miami Dolphins, who are currently beating the Jaguars, who are at number 25.
But you got to remember that their turf is undefeated currently.
But it doesn't matter to the Jets.
At 29. Carolina Panthers are 28. Bengals are 27. The Washington football team is at 26 with a 1-1. Jags are 25, 1-1. The Falcons are 24 with an 0-2. So I don't know how some of the 26 and 25 must feel, knowing that they're right smack dab in the middle of these defeated teams.
Well, we're seeing one of them right now.
Yeah. Denver is sitting at 23. Houston Eagles are 22. Houston's 21. The Vikings are at 20. The Chicago Bears at 2-0 are at 19.
See, those are the 2 surprising teams for me. It was the Houston Texans being 0-2, and the Chicago Bears being 2-0, and being this low in the rankings.
I'm not surprised about Houston.
Especially when 18, 17, and 16 are all 1-1s, which is the Chargers, Browns, and Colts.
Yeah.
So you're a 2-0, and you're at 19 in the power rankings. That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
That's related on one person right there. Their quarterback. That's what everyone believes. That quarterback is garbage.
The Raiders are sitting at 15, 2-0. The 49ers are at 14, 1-1. Which is kind of surprising, seeing how well they did last season.
Well, that's because
they just lost everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Half their team went down, and I think they're saying Jimmy G won't be back for 4 weeks minimum, and there's other players
both their starting DNs went on IR for the season.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I know my fantasy DN took one of the top DNs in the league is out after week 2. And he didn't do anything week 2 to begin with.
I'm not gonna lie. I looked at that and was like, I'm so glad I have the other Bosa.
I looked at that. I'm like, when I stole him in the draft, I'm like, sweet, I got him. He puts up points, and all of a sudden it's just like, really, week 2, and you're done.
You're the epitome of that meme, Jeremy.
So at 13, you have the 2-0 Arizona Cardinals. Tampa Bay is at 12. Dallas is at 11. The Patriots are at 10, which made me very happy.
I'm very surprised about that Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are rated lower than New England Patriots. Although you got to be happy that New England Patriots out of the top 5.
Oh yeah, I'm ecstatic.
Because when was the last time the Patriots were out of the top 2 for power rankings since Brady has been a QB?
I just want the Patriots to just stay ahead of the Buccaneers all season. I don't want them to win the Super Bowl. I don't care if they go to the playoffs. I just want them to have a better record than Tampa. That's all. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah, I think so.
We got the Saints at number 9. The Los Angeles Rams was a big surprise for me. They're at number 8, and they're 2-0. Tennessee Titans are 2-0 at 7. The Buffalo Bills are 6. The Seahawks are 5. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 4. My Green Bay Packers are at number 3. The Kansas City Chiefs are at 2. And the Baltimore Ravens are at 1 in this week's power rankings.
Yep.
Okay, so quick question. What do you guys think of the Bills being ranked number 6, considering the only two teams they've beat are the Jets and the Dolphins?
That's a little rough.
I mean, they're also favored to take the division, so.
Yes, but that doesn't get calculated into a power ranking. Power rankings based on who you've played, how you've played, and how number of points. And they've barely beat both teams they played.
I mean, I don't hate it. I don't have any.
I think they're a little highly. I think like the Rams should be rated higher than them because the Rams have been blowing doors.
Yeah, I mean, I could also give it to Tennessee, even though Derrick Henry hasn't really produced much.
Yeah, I think they should be closer to the 8 compared to the 6. I just feel like people are
overvaluing them.
Yeah, they're boosting him up early.
I think it's. I mean, if you really think about it, the difference between 6 and 8 really isn't that extreme. Now, if you're going to say like they should be at 15 rather than 6, I mean that's a significant jump. I mean, it could be a difference of like micro points between 6 and 8.
You're used to micro things, aren't you, Nate?
I handle microscopic things on a daily basis.
Although,
all right,
I'm
so
surprised.
Where do you want to take this next?
Why don't we go to how our fantasy leagues are going?
All right. So last week we had Joe Buck Yourself playing against Gail's Grand Team.
And I kicked your ass.
You did. That ended with Gail's Grand Team winning 203.1 to Joe Buck Yourself's 170.5.
Yep.
Lieutenant Dan's Magic Legs played at the Dolphinax. And they won. The Dolphinax won 234.2 to 181.64. Mixing it up.
Smitty came up big last week. He didn't
Yeah,
show up
Dak
week 1,
Prescott
but
and his kicker.
Mixing it up played Ladies and Edelman's. Mixing it up won 192.22 to 170.48. Here Don't Get Fined lost because their English and grammar is atrocious.
2 weeks in a row.
No, I lost because my 2 players on my bench outscored the 2 spots on my roster by probably like 60 points.
That just means you have to change your name. Asamass.
Who would have ever thought that Breeze would score less points than Cam Newton in fantasy football?
Well, AIM
I mean,
won,
come on.
AIM won 191.34 to 172.98. And Oompa 31's team beat Bad Juju 180.56 to 150.86.
And Bad Juju is the one that beat Jeremy by 200 points last week. So you guys keep telling me to change the name, but I ain't changing it because it seems to be working.
So this week we have Joe Buck Yourself 1-1 against Mixing It Up, who is 2-0. Lieutenant Dan's Magic Legs 1-1. I almost feel like I'm announcing racehorses. 1-1 are going against Here Don't Get Fined, who is 0-2.
Oh yeah,
Lieutenant Dan's winning this week.
Gail's Grand Team is 1-1, and they're playing Oompa's team 2-0, which is going to be the battle of the household.
Yes.
That's right. It's going to be savage up in here.
And our games don't end until Monday. She's got a kicker on Monday, who's actually predicted to get more points than my wide receiver.
The
our
Asamass
kicker's going to score 60 points on Monday night just to piss you off.
Asamass has 1-1, and they're playing Ladies and Edelman, who are 0-2. The Dolphinics 1-1 are playing against Bad Juju, who is also 1-1. And for those that are trying to keep score on Nate and Smitty's tattoo bet standings, Nate is currently in the lead with a 3-1 record to Smitty's 2-2 record.
I can't wait for those tattoos. Hold on, we'll be done with this by Thanksgiving, right? So that way he can get it while he's up here.
Possibly. I should schedule just a tentative date with my tattoo guy.
Yes.
So that one has to be one of the first other shows. You know what I'm referring to.
It could be the Tattoo Confessionals podcast.
That's what I'm saying. It has to be one of those ones.
Yep.
Hi, Amanda.
Elbow.
Hey, Amanda's here. Just in time.
She's like, what the hell?
She goes, they're always watching.
I just saw a random elbow coming to the screen. I was like, what the hell?
forget about the camera sometimes.
That's the best way to do it. You just
She
forget
always
it's
forgets
there.
about it in the bedroom too.
I don't think she knew there was one there. You shouldn't have told her.
You just blew your cover, Nate.
She doesn't know where it is.
Well,
and she doesn't know that there's more than one.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh, now she does.
We all know it's just so you can take pictures of yourself wearing her underwear, Nate.
I'll let it go. Because no matter what I say, it's not going to be good for me. So I'm just going to let it go.
Okay, it's
now that Amanda's here
That how
and
Amanda
Mo's
feels,
probably upstairs, and since Gail has joined us, let's get to our week 2 totals. So, Jeremy came almost with the perfect win
fucking
with
Raiders.
15, and the Saints with the Saints loss, he went 15-1.
I was this close to that perfect week.
So close.
I was not.
In second place, we have me, Nate, and Chris, all with 14 right. Third, we had Mo with only 10 right. Then we had Smitty.
Ladies, do I have at least one number right?
No. Smitty had 9 wins. And then we have Amanda and Gail pulling up the rear with 8 wins each. It was a big difference from week 1.
What did Amanda and Gail do?
8 points, so 8 wins.
Talking about butt stuff?
Yep.
Something in the rear.
Well, so far.
I think Gail's stomach proves that she doesn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah.
So the Cincinnati Bengals screwed a bunch of us over.
No, they didn't.
Oh, well, they screwed us, a bunch of us, the rest of us, not you.
It's all about the Browns. Ask OBJ.
And the Saints killed everybody but Chris and Amanda.
The Saints were the killer.
Yes.
Bastard.
Other than that, we had the Browns.
Look how much green I have.
Yeah, I know. The Browns
Fucking
won
A.
to the Bengals 35-30 last Thursday night. Then we had the Bears winning 17-13 over the New York Giants. Then we had the Los Angeles Rams beating the Philadelphia Eagles 37-19. The Cowboys, who didn't lead a single second of that game, won 40-39 with
Well, that's Atlanta's MO, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
They lead the entire game yet still lose.
Yes, they did. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers won 31-17, and I figured after the first half that game was over. That game, the Panthers did not look like they were even ready to play.
They came back and made it close for a while, though.
They did for a little while. The 49ers won 31-13, even though Jimmy G went down. Pittsburgh Steelers and Big Ben won 26-21 over the Denver Broncos. Tennessee Titans won a tight one 33-30 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Green Bay Packers, where the hell did they come from? They won 42-21 over the Detroit Lions.
I am so happy that they're finally showing up and playing.
It is the Lions.
Yes, it is the Lions,
but putting points up on people. They're not playing to the caliber that they're playing against. They're going up 40 points.
Well,
I
yeah,
haven't
they
seen
played
a
against two
Packers
crap
team
teams.
do that ever.
Yeah, I was gonna say since we were babies.
Since Favre played.
Yeah, the young days of Favre.
Probably.
The Buffalo Bills actually, it was a tight one back and forth with the Miami Dolphins, but they ended up winning 31-28. The Indianapolis Colts won 28-11 over the Minnesota Vikings, which was surprising. I'm surprised the Minnesota Vikings suck this bad. Huh?
That running back just hit the truck stick button.
Yeah, he's trucked him.
Video game reference.
Oh, yeah. So, and then the Arizona Cardinals won 30-15 over the Washington Redskins. That was an expected game. The Baltimore Ravens won 33-16 over the Houston Texans, which was a little surprising it was that far apart.
No, Houston's going to be garbage. They don't have their receiver anymore.
But it's much worse than we expected, I guess.
Maybe you. I'm surprised they even scored that much.
I expected way worse.
That team's garbage this year.
I didn't expect this bad.
You didn't expect it this bad?
Deshaun Watson on the bench this week, so
You might as well just get rid of him.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, without a number one receiver there, Deshaun Watson's garbage right now.
I got rid of Gronk this week, so.
I told
I
you
need,
should
I
never
need
draft
to
him.
make some moves, but
Then we have the Kansas City
I've been
Chiefs.
forced to make moves because I keep losing players to IR for the year.
Yeah, you do.
I do too, so it's okay.
The Kansas City Chiefs beat the Los Angeles Chargers 23-20. Then the Seattle Seahawks beat the New England Patriots 35-30 when he should have just passed it and he tried to run for it at the final seconds of the game.
You know, that game was a lot closer than I thought it would be.
It was.
I thought it would be over by halftime.
Yeah. I figured the score would be closer to 60-10.
I thought Seattle was running away with that game.
Especially at halftime. It looked like it was just done and over.
Hell, if freaking the kicker hits the field goal, they go into halftime with the lead.
Yeah. And in probably the most surprising game this weekend, the Las Vegas Raiders beat the New Orleans Saints 34-24.
Hey, it was the only game that surprised me this week.
yes.
Surprised everybody in the nation.
Except for Chris. Chris and Amanda, the only ones that caught that one right.
It's because they were just grasping at straws, hoping for an upset.
Yes.
Smart.
No, that's not smart. That's just like
Amanda, you only had 8 wins. That
I'm
isn't.
gonna go with that. And
They just picked against.
I also knew
everyone else.
Michael Thomas was out, so that has a big
tell
part to
me
play.
that you use strategy. You just
I do know a few things about pro football.
you threw shit at a wall and it stuck. That's all that.
Chris is using my comments earlier to justify his pick right now. You know that, right?
Well, right
Yeah,
here we got
supposed to
our
tell.
winning percentages. The top picker is Jeremy with 81% correct so far. Chris is in second with 78%, 25 right so far. Then it is me, of all people, with 24 correct. And then we got Nate and Mo at 23 with 72%. And
Still better than the pros.
Yep. Gail is picking at 63%. Amanda is picking at 59%. And Smitty is pulling up the rear with 50% picked correctly.
That's
16 games.
It's true.
So,
Man, I should become a professional at this shit, apparently.
apparently.
Thinking so.
You start betting, Jeremy. Then
Like
you do stupid things.
81%. That's pretty good stats right there.
It is. That is. I want to see what after week 3 what you're at.
At least I'm getting more than half.
Yes. You're doing
Wait,
better
wait,
than
there's a
Smitty.
week 3?
Yeah.
I'm
That's
gonna be
this
0 for
week.
1 starting week 3, I think.
Yeah, me and you both. The AFC rankings are AFC East is Buffalo Bills, New England Patriots, the Jets, and the Miami Dolphins. Although maybe after tonight, the Miami Dolphins are moving up.
Yep.
AFC West, we have the Kansas City Chiefs at 2-0, the Las Vegas Raiders at 2-0, the Chargers at 1-1, and the Broncos at 0-2. The NFC North has the Baltimore Ravens at 2-0, the Pittsburgh Steelers at 2-0, the Browns at 1-1, and the Bengals in last place at 0-2. Tennessee Titans are 2-0. Jacksonville Jaguars and Indianapolis Colts are both 1-1, and the Houston Texans are 0-2.
Dog.
Yep. In the NFC East, we have the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys both at 1-1, and the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants are both 0-2. That is a crappy division again this season. In the NFC West, we have 3 teams that are 2-0. The Seattle Seahawks, the Los Angeles Rams, and the Arizona Cardinals. And pulling up the rear is the San Francisco 49ers that are 1-1. Boy, what a drop from fame they are so far. In the NFC North, we have the Green Bay Packers 2-0 and the Chicago Bears 2-0. Whoever thought that would happen?
I did.
What, the Bears would be 2-0?
Oh no.
In the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions are both 0-2.
That surprised me. I thought Minnesota was going to be in second place.
Yeah, usually they're like 1-1 if they play Green Bay first. The Chicago Bears are 0-2 or maybe 1-1, but the Bears have only played a crappy team. In the NFC South, we have the New Orleans Saints and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers both at 1-1. In the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers both 0-2. And that rounds up our standings for this week. So, the game that's playing tonight is our Thursday night game. I have all of Smitty's picks.
I got Mo's picks.
And
I'll give
Gail's...
it to you as we go, because apparently you can't deal with it after the fact.
Nope. I'm going to have Gail call out Smitty's picks when I get there.
Lord.
Gail, you missed it last week. He threw a tizzy because they weren't in the exact order he had them, and he couldn't figure it out.
Yes, it kills me.
All the time.
It's just such a pain.
You know, I told him I'd read him off. He goes, "Oh, just text them to me." And
Oh.
then he's crying about it.
So, starting off this week, because Jeremy won, Jeremy is going to make our first picks for the Sunday 1 o'clock game, Chicago Bears versus Atlanta Falcons.
I'm going to take Atlanta.
You're going to take Atlanta. Chris, who are you going to go with?
I'm going with the Bears.
The Bears. Who's Smitty going with?
Falcons.
The Falcons.
Ah, fuck.
You're screwed,
Would you
Jeremy.
like to change your answer?
No, it's already in. It's locked in. Gail, who are you going with?
I said, oh, fuck.
I think I'm actually going to go with the Bears this week.
The Bears. Who is Mo going with?
The Falcons.
The Falcons, really? Amanda, who you picking? The Falcons are red. The Bears are blue.
I know that much.
Chris, you're fucked now.
Yeah, Falcons get
Right.
black sometimes.
Sometimes. Nate, who you going with?
I'm gonna go with the Falcons at home.
Falcons at home? You know what? I'm going to go with the Bears. It's Chris, your pick. Buffalo Bills are hosting the Los Angeles Rams at 1 p.m.
I'm going to go with the Bills.
The Bills. Smitty is going with
Rams.
the Rams. Oop. Gail, who you going with?
I'll go with the... I don't like that game.
You know,
The Rams.
the Rams.
Almost kind of a toss-up for me.
It's just going to be a terrible game.
Mo, who you going with? Oh, who's Mo going with?
Hold on.
You're supposed to know this, Jeremy.
Rams. I'm not looking at it. I look when you ask.
Amanda, who you going with?
Rams.
Rams. Nathaniel, who you going with?
Buffalo.
Buffalo. This is a toss-up game.
It's going to be terrible.
Oh, the Rams are pretty good this year.
Mm-hmm. At the end of this, one of them is going to have their first loss.
Yeah. Buffalo Bills at home. It's supposed to be...
You going to go with somebody ramming, or you going with the dildos?
That's a hard pick. When you put it that way, it's a much harder pick.
That's what she said.
To put it this way, Nate went with the dildos.
I sure did.
Nate likes when things ram dildos, so.
I'd rather use a dildo than get rammed.
It's supposed to be chillier in Buffalo this week, so I'm going to go with Buffalo. Jeremy, who are you going with?
I am going to go with the Rams because Buffalo, I'm still not sold. They're two games they won weren't against good teams, but the 2 games the Rams won also weren't against quality opponents.
True.
So it's a lot of, they're very fake 2-0 teams on both ends. So I'm going to go with the Rams in the end.
All right. Who's Smitty going with for the Browns Redskins?
Browns.
He's going with the Browns. Gil, who are you going to go with?
Washington.
The Redskins. Who's Mo going with?
Who's home? Hold on, wait. Browns.
Browns are home. Amanda, who you going with?
I was having a side conversation.
Browns or Washington?
Browns or Skins?
Yeah, the old Skins.
Skins.
The new Skins?
Yep.
All right. Nate, who you going with?
The Browns.
The Browns. I am also going to go with the Browns. Jeremy, who you going with?
I wanted to go with OBJ, but you two both going Browns is making me second guess myself.
But you got to think, me and Amanda both went with Washington.
You know, you guys make this harder and harder. Hey, you know, Nate must have upgraded. He got rid of all his license plates.
I see that.
That's because he's running away.
I know. I'm gonna go with the Browns as well.
Chris, who are you gonna go with?
I'm gonna take Washington.
You're gonna take Washington. Gail, you get to pick first.
Woo.
You're gonna go with the Tennessee Titans or the Minnesota Vikings, and the Vikings are at home.
I think I'm gonna go with the Vikings.
The Vikings to win the first game. Who's Mo going with?
What game is this?
The Minnesota Vikings Titans game. Titans are at
Titans.
Minnesota.
She's going with the Titans.
Going with the Titans. Amanda, who you going with?
Titans.
Titans. Nate, who you going with?
Hold on.
Nate's going with not available currently.
Is he taking the dogs out?
Yeah.
Someone has to be the mature adult in the house.
Listen, I took my dog outside when I got home. His dog didn't want to come with me. He wanted to stay downstairs with Nate.
Listen, I don't want to hear your excuses.
Apparently, he's my dog too. I just got yelled at. Hold on, he can hear me.
Ask Nate if he's going with the Titans or the Vikings.
Yeah, ask him the important questions.
Nate says Titans.
Nate says Titans. I am also gonna be going with the Titans once I figure this out. Titans. Jeremy, who you going with?
Who's at home?
Minnesota Vikings to win their first game.
No, I'm going with Tennessee.
Chris, who you going with?
I'm gonna go with Tennessee, and I hope Derrick Henry has a big game.
Me too. Gail, Smitty, who's Smitty going with?
Derrick Henry
Titans.
cannot have a good game.
He is also going with the Titans. Uh-oh.
I feel like I may have made a mistake.
Jeremy.
Well, wait, there's more.
Jeremy, speaking of more, what did Mo pick for the LA Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, or the New England Patriots?
She picked the Patriots.
Amanda, who you going with?
Patriots.
Nate, who you going with? Patriots are home.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Vegas.
I'm gonna go with Vegas.
No matter what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yes, the problem is they're
they're
gonna
not in
be
Vegas.
they're gonna be at Gillette. No
Exactly.
fans at Gillette. The Raiders have just played a much better team than the Patriots. I feel, and the Saints. I'm gonna go with the Raiders. This season is really hard to pick the Patriots until I see something. Jeremy, who you going with?
I'm going with the Patriots. You know, the fact is, with the COVID, they have to travel very close to game time, which it's a long flight back. It's gonna fuck with their time, and it's a 1 o'clock game, so in theory, it's 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 10 a.m. kickoff for Vegas, so I'm gonna go with the Patriots.
Chris, who you going with?
I'm gonna take Vegas in a close one.
Who's Smitty going with?
Patriots.
He's going. Wow, Smitty went with the Patriots.
You know, for someone who hated the Patriots for so long, he's picked them a lot this year.
Yeah, he has. And who are you going with?
I'm gonna go with the Patriots.
All right. And Amanda, you get to go first this time. The San Francisco 49ers, with no Jimmy G, are going to the New York Giants.
Giants.
Giants to win their first game. Nate, who you picking?
Giants.
Giants. No Jimmy G. I think this is going to be a crapshoot.
Yeah, because the Giants don't have Saquon either.
No.
Yeah, he's
Who's
out.
Jimmy G's backup? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I don't know. He did fairly well the second half of that game last week. I'm going to go with the 49ers. Jeremy, who you going with?
I'm going with the Niners. The Giants are a dumpster fire.
That's putting it lightly. Chris,
I
who
was
you
trying
going
to
with?
be nice.
I'm also gonna go with the Niners.
And who's Smitty going with?
Giants.
Giants. Well, I guess now we know who's losing to that. And we're back to Nate.
What about Mo's pick?
Oh, no, yeah, we need Gales and Mo. Sorry. Gail, who are you going with? The Giants or the 49ers?
49ers.
49ers, and who's Mo going with?
Giants.
The Giants.
She's just mad because Saquon Barkley's out.
Oh, she's pissed.
So now we're back to Nate. The Cincinnati Bengals are going to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Ooh, that's a bad game.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a boring ass game.
That'll be the 4 o'clock game shown national.
Nope, it's actually still a 1 o'clock game. We haven't made it to
Oh,
the
that's-
4:05 games yet.
Oh my god.
That's right.
There's a couple of bad ones at 4:05 though. Nate, who are you going with?
I said the Eagles.
Oh, the Eagles? I didn't hear you. Sorry.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I talked
oh,
over you. Hey, shush. We don't want to hear your opinion.
Whatever.
I am also going with the Eagles. Jared, who are you
Yeah.
going with?
Who are they playing?
The Bungles.
The Bungles are at the Philadelphia Eagles.
You know,
You want to do it, Jeremy.
Just do
I
it.
know what to do. The Bengals.
Oh god.
Like Nike says. Chris, who you going with?
I'm going with the Bungles, and I'm hoping Joey Burrows has a good game.
Who is Smitty going with?
Eagles.
The Eagles.
We're good, Jeremy.
Gail, who you going with?
I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
You're going with the Eagles. Who's Mo going with?
The Bengals.
The Bengals. Amanda, who you going with?
Bengals.
The Bengals. Next, we have the Houston Texans at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I ain't going with the Steelers. Jeremy.
Is that really a question?
So the Texans, right?
How bad have I said the Texans suck this year?
I don't know.
Of course.
Sucking enough to pick them.
Nope. They're past the point of picking them. It's the Steelers. I mean, they could lose half their team and still beat them right now.
Chris, who you going with?
Let's do Steelers, and I need TJ Watt to get me like 8 more points.
Who
I'll
is
take Steelers
Smitty
for
going
800.
with?
Steelers.
Smitty is going with the Steel Curtain Steelers. Gail, who you going with?
Steelers.
Steelers. Who is Mo going with?
Steelers.
Steelers. Are we going across the board, Amanda?
Yep.
Come on, stop being a follower.
Nate, are you going to be the final sheep? Yes.
He doesn't even use words. He's over there snacking.
He's like,
Like, that
yes.
was just a given at that point.
He's like, yeah, I'm going to go be the final sheep in that line.
I don't dare to break that streak.
So the crappiest game at 4 o'clock. The New York Jets are at the Indianapolis Colts. Who you going with, Jeremy?
Tickets are also $37 for that game.
Really?
Yeah.
Chris, can you meet us there?
There
There we go.
I
We
think
can do a live podcast from in the stands.
we could do that. We can actually afford to go to games at that game.
Yeah.
I don't think we could.
I
We're
don't think we
broke.
could.
I'll just borrow money from Connor. It's fine.
He probably could afford it, yeah.
I'll loan you the money. It's fine.
How
Amanda
much
loves
is
me. It's okay.
37 a ticket.
37 a
$37
ticket.
I got you covered.
The most
I'm on
expensive
order.
game is
I'll buy you a beer.
I was
Dallas
gonna
and
say,
Seattle.
I think I'll spend more of that on beer while I'm at the game.
So Jeremy, you got the first pick. Who you going with?
Wait, what were the teams?
The
Colts,
Jets
Jets.
at the Colts.
I'm gonna take the Colts.
Chris, who you going with?
I too am taking the Colts.
Smitty, who you going with?
Colts.
He's going with the Colts.
Nate, what's the drive time from here to Indianapolis for their stadium?
It's about 18 hours if I
17
remember
hours.
correctly.
Oh Jesus! It's only like 8 for me.
Oh,
So-
well, if me and Jeremy drive the way we normally drive in Jeremy's car, we can make it there in probably about 15. Or we take Nate's car. He's got a 5-speed.
That's not a 6-speed.
Gail, who you
What?
going with?
I hate myself for this.
You picking the Colts, aren't you?
I've never done this before.
You going with the brains instead of how you feel?
Yes. I'm going with the Colts.
Who is Mo going with?
The Colts as well.
Colts as well. Amanda, who you going with?
Colts.
Colts. Nate, who you going with?
Phillip Rivers and the Colts.
And I'll be the final sheep in that line, going with the Colts. Let's see. I think it's Chris's turn, right? Or did you not? Did I pick first last, Jerry?
I picked first last one.
All right, so Chris, it's your turn.
I'll pick first again, not mine.
The Carolina Panthers are going to the Los Angeles Chargers.
I'm gonna take the Chargers.
Who's Smitty going with?
Chargers.
Chargers.
Fuck.
Gail, who you going with?
Who was it again?
The Panthers are going to the Chargers.
Ew. Chargers.
Who's Mo going with?
Chargers.
Amanda, who you going with?
Wasn't paying attention.
The Panthers or the
That's
Chargers?
the last word I heard.
Sorry, man. That team isn't playing this week.
I don't know why I do this anymore.
Because you think 1 week you'll win.
Panthers or Chargers, Amanda? Come on. Quick one.
I said the Chargers.
Oh, I didn't hear you. You were talking.
Open your ears.
I'm trying to.
Hearing aid.
Nate, who you going with?
You know what? I'm going to go with the Panthers. They both suck.
They do. And I am going to go with the Chargers because they're at home. Jeremy, who you going with?
Chargers.
Corona.
Bless you.
We're all gonna die.
No, you can't get Corona through a Zoom call, remember?
I'm talking about everybody in my house.
Chris, who you going to go with? The Detroit Lions? They are going to the Arizona Cardinals.
You all know that science proved that ants can't catch coronavirus?
Really?
What?
Yeah, do you want to know why?
Why?
Because they have antibodies.
Wow.
There's a dad joke.
Travis, did you just skip Smitty and Mo?
No. All the Chargers were there.
Okay.
So now we have Chris picking between the Detroit Lions, who are going to the
Chris picked first last time.
I picked first last time.
So,
all right, Smitty's.
Who is it?
The Cardinals or the Lions?
Apparently
That's an
neither.
easy game to pick.
Oh,
Yeah.
Smitty, you didn't pick this game. So we're going to move on to Gale. Who you going with? The Detroit Lions are going to the Arizona Cardinals.
Ew.
Yeah,
Cardinals.
Cardinals. Who's Mo going with?
Cardinals.
Cardinals. Amanda, who you going with?
Arizona.
Nate, who you going with?
Sorry, we've been checking out country music people.
Of course you have.
Arizona as well.
Did you find any cute ones?
A lot.
Oh, hell yeah.
There's one with an amazing personality.
Well-endowed personality.
Yep.
I ain't going to go with the Cardinals as well. Jerry, who you going with?
The team I said was a lot better than everyone was expecting this year.
The Cardinals.
Since day one. The Cardinals.
Chris, who you going with?
I'm also going with Arizona.
And Smitty apparently didn't pick, so we'll need to get his pick eventually.
It was Savannah Chrisley.
Savannah Chrisley was his pick?
Yeah.
Smitty picked the Cards.
Cardinals.
Ah. All right, so now we're over to Gail. Gail, you got the pick. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to the Denver Broncos.
Smitty picked the Cardinals.
Yes, we got that.
Yeah, you're 5 minutes late to the party.
Sorry, I'm checking out somebody.
He's also Snapchatting her.
I guess I'll go with
I'm sharing it to the group page.
Tampa
Oh,
Bay.
I lied.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mo, who's Mo going with?
What game is this?
The Buccaneers at the Broncos.
Bucks.
Bucks. Amanda, who you going with?
Oh, shit. What?
Who are you going with? The Buccaneers or the Denver Broncos?
Amanda's going with well endowed. So not Nate.
She likes short guys with big personalities.
So
I
she
guess
going with
she's
the
going
Broncos?
Tampa Bay.
Oh, fuck. I don't like either of those teams. I guess the Buccaneers.
Oh, fuck doesn't play this week. I'm sorry.
Oh, fuck always plays.
So
Yeah,
you're
all
gonna,
Bucks
so
on a
you're gonna
bye.
go with the Buccaneers?
Yeah.
All right.
How
Nate,
I feel.
who you going with?
I'm gonna go with Tampa because Blake Bortles hasn't played in how long?
A long time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers. They showed some life last week. Jaron, who you going with?
I'm gonna go with the Bucks because Denver is
Denver.
garbage.
Chris, who you going with?
I'm going with the Bucks.
And who is Smitty going with?
Denver.
Are you shitting me?
No.
Smitty went with Denver.
Oh, Smitty.
All right, Mo's got the first pick of the Dallas Cowboys are going to the Seattle Seahawks.
Which one?
Cowboys are going to the Seattle
Seahawks.
Seahawks. Amanda, who you going with? You got to pay attention, Amanda.
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
I
Nate,
tried to, and then Nate started talking to me.
don't listen to him. You should know better than that.
I know.
Nate, Nathaniel.
I agree. The Seahawks.
I also
Seahawks.
agree
Sorry,
with.
I was muted.
Oh, I
Oh,
also
was it?
agree with the Seahawks. Jaron, who you going with?
Well, duh. The Hawks.
Let's say the Cowboys. You know, your favorite team that you when you were growing up.
Yeah, that's like 20 years old now. Sorry, I had to tell you.
Chris, who you going with?
Give me the Sea Chickens.
The Sea Chickens. And Smitty is going with
Seahawks.
the Seahawks. All right, and so that's
I will
oh,
also go with the Seahawks,
Yes.
considering you just tried to skip me.
almost.
Again.
Look at that
He
attitude.
doesn't like you.
It's
You better
okay.
freaking like me.
Amanda, you get to
Stuck
pick
with me.
first. The Green Bay Packers are going to the New Orleans Saints.
The Saints.
The Saints. Nate, who you going with?
Go with the Packers.
The Packers.
The Fudge Packers.
Yes, the Fudge Packers, and I
That's what
also
Nate's hoping to be doing later.
I am also going with those
That's
Fudge
what Amanda's hope
Packers.
will happen later.
I'm going to bed.
I want you to be awake.
Girls' name.
Jeremy, who you going with?
The Packers.
Not if you consent first.
Chris, who you going with?
Fudge Packers.
And Smitty is going with
The Saints.
the Saints. Who you going with, Gail?
Can I change mine?
Go
Nope.
with the
Nope.
Packers.
Gail's going with the Packers, and who is Mo going with?
Packers.
The Packers. And we are to Nate
For the last game of the week.
for the last game of the week, and then we
Um,
have Thursday's game. We have the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday night going to the Baltimore Ravens.
I'm gonna take the Ravens.
The Ravens. In the predicted game for the final for the Super Bowl, no, for the AFC East final.
AFC Championship.
Yeah, AFC Championship. This would have been last year. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Yeah.
The Chiefs.
He had a small
I
seizure.
couldn't. It was hard. Jeremy, who you going with?
I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
Ravens.
Words are hard.
Chris, who you going with? Chris.
He's eating.
I'm thinking. Sorry.
I didn't see any smoke.
I'm
I'm
gonna go
sorry.
with the Chiefs.
Who's Smitty going with?
Ravens.
Yes. Gail, who you going with?
Chiefs.
Chiefs. And who's Mo going with?
The Ravens.
The Ravens. And Amanda, you're the final one.
The Chiefs. And I think we should let Smitty pick first every time, and then we all just pick opposite.
The Chiefs. And week 4, Thursday night
I
game.
mean, he gets it right sometimes.
Guess how much those tickets are?
Not a lot.
$12.
$38.
Woo!
That's a quick trip to New York.
That is.
Frig in the bank.
And that's not, we can go there, is not against travel restrictions.
Nope.
We can.
Who gives a travel restrictions only come into consideration if you're flying.
If you're driving, they don't know the difference.
There's not someone at the border checking you.
Oh, in New York, there is. Well, at least when you get into the city. So I have to pick first between the Denver Broncos going to the New York Jets. The dumpster fire of the Jets. I think I'd rather go with the Broncos for that next Thursday. Jeremy, who you going with?
I'm gonna go with the Broncos as well.
Chris, who you going with?
I'm going with Noah Fant and the Broncos.
Did Smitty pick this game? I don't think Smitty picked this game.
Hey, Jeremy, how's that graphic that was on the screen make you feel?
What graphic?
One that showed all the
Oh, the Niner fans? The Niner
yeah,
players?
yeah.
Yeah, I was looking up that. I'm like, oh, that one hurt a little.
Oh, from the looks of it, Smitty didn't pick this game. So, Gail, who are you going to go with? Broncos. Who's Mo going with?
The Broncos.
The Broncos. Amanda, who you going with?
I really want to say the Jets just to be different, but I know that's stupid. So
But you've been stupid many times before.
See, she does listen.
Listen, I'm smart all day at work. I don't need to be smart at home.
Well, then you should stop hanging out with Nate because he's not smart any time of the day.
So, who
I'm
you
the
going
smartest
with,
man in
Amanda?
the room when I'm alone.
Are you sure you are?
Who's feedback?
It's Nate. Nate gets his feedback every once in a while.
Nate.
It's not us. I just muted both of us.
It got a lot better.
But I could hear you.
Is it me now?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
no. Yeah.
I'm going
No,
with
it's
the
Amanda
Jets.
still. I didn't hear Amanda's pick.
She's going with Denver.
She's going with Denver. Okay, now it's you.
I'm going with the Jets.
You're going with the Jets to be the special one.
Mm-hmm.
He is
And
special. We know
When
that.
Smitty sends his thing, we'll update his.
I bet he picks the Jets.
I bet he does too.
Oh, Fitzpatrick threw a pass to himself?
Yeah.
Is that legal?
He picked the Jets.
He picked the Jets.
He said,
does.
for the record,
know my
it's
defensive
stupid
partner.
picking next Thursday's game before we see how they do this Sunday. Stupid.
Yes, Smitty, we
In
know.
my correct opinion. And then he said he picked the Jets.
Yes.
So, for the record,
For the record.
that's how Smitty feels.
All right, so Nate, do we have any sponsor for this week?
As always, fnxfit.com for all your fitness needs and workout plans. Go to fnxfit.com and at checkout, type in Talking Stuff 15 to save 15% on your total order.
You know, some of our fat asses, you start getting in shape then.
Yeah, looking at all y'all.
That's okay. I'm in shape. Brown's
Hey,
a
hey.
shape.
Hey, can the gym open at 3 a.m.?
Mine
As
can,
long
yeah.
as you're quiet.
But Jeremy's a lunkhead.
I get 3 hours in before I go to work at your gym.
And you can get home before the kids even wake up.
Ted wakes up before 6, so.
All right, guys.
Cue the music.
Hold on. It didn't.
Dun, 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 dun.
Waiting. Wait for it.
And then, and then,
There you go.
and then,
all, folks.
and then.
Bye, everybody.